Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to the Teamwork Racing 2020 Championship. Tonight it's round 38 with the LX6 at Westhill National. Without the chicane today, we had the chicane on Sunday. Joining me tonight in the commentary box is Thilo Falkenberg. Hi, Thilo.
Hello out there.
So, Thilo, tonight we've got the LX6, which is a handful at the best of times around a track which is made up of, well, basically a sequence of very twisty, tight, and complicated corners with only a couple of straights thrown in for good measure. Lots of exciting stuff to look forward to. What do you think of that combo?
Yeah, you pretty much already summed it up for me. You have this very narrow, twitchy part in the middle of the hole. So I think that the second sector is pretty much what separates the boys and girls from the men and women.
Absolutely. So tonight we've got the LX6 at Westhill National. Then we move on to the Fox at Kyoto. After today, we've only got 6 rounds remaining of the season. So we really are coming towards the end when the prizes are going to be handed out. At the top of the championship, currently it's Jan Bukowski, Gavin Peat, Nika Bentola, Rick Cardle, Jari Katila, Darius, and Pekka Koivunen. Those top 7 drivers are the only drivers who can theoretically win the championship after today. Everybody else in the championship is unfortunately not in contention anymore with so few rounds remaining. But there you can see on your screen the top 24 in the championship with Daniel Balla rounding out those 24 drivers at the top of the table after 37 rounds. And in the team championship, it's a similar situation with diminishing numbers of teams able to lift that trophy at the end of the year. Yes Motorsport, Teamwork Racing and World Class Lions are currently the 3 teams in contention. And Thilo, look at that gap between Yes Motorsport and Teamwork Racing, the hosts. Only 3 points separating those two. And I reckon it's going to be a far cry for World Class Lions to lift that trophy at the end of round 44. What do you think?
Yeah, World Class Lions pretty much has to hope that all Yes Motorsports and Team Rock Racing cars are not finishing for quite some rounds to be able to overtake them. Yeah, it's very unlikely, though you should never say never.
No, definitely
But
not.
the main contenders are Yes Motorsport and Team Rock Racing in that.
And I want to say something about Yes Motorsport. They haven't had the most consistent season. They've had quite a lot of drivers at the beginning and kind of in a couple of rounds towards the middle of the season, they've only had maybe 1 or 2 or 3 turning up. But they've still managed to keep Teamwork Racing honest. Teamwork Racing have had a real, really solid a field of drivers in that team. And to be 3 points ahead after round 37, that just shows you how hard Yes Motorsport have been pushing this season. And, well, they've not got much more to do. You've only got a couple more rounds to stay ahead of the hosts. And, I'm really interested to see how that shapes up. We've got around 2 minutes left until the start of the qualifying session here. We'll have 14 minutes of qualifying and then 2 10-minute races, the second of which will be fully reversed based on the reversed results of the first race. And yeah, each of the races will be 10 laps in duration. And I think qualifying has started, Thilo, or what's happening on the server right now?
No, we're in the final preparations for the qualifying session. The admin is now changing all the necessary details.
Rightio. So yeah, we'll bring you that in just a couple of seconds' time. So qualifying, 14 minutes. It's going to be quite what is it? Around about 1.5 minutes for a lap.
1 minute 50.
1 minute 50. Okay, so around about 2 minutes a lap for the outlap. So yeah, drivers aren't going to get too many attempts to get a lap in. So it's going to be quite a fraught session, I think.
I think the top drivers can make it around 6 tries while qualifying is starting right now.
Rightio, let's turn our attention to the track, Thilo, and see how the drivers are going to get on with this. Everybody just leaving the pit lane.
First bunch of cars, Rick Cardle, Japan, and Renault Koots.
So yeah, we have a Siders car leading the field away, followed by, is that Japan, number 77?
Yes, it is. Well, Japan is number 3, but he's directly behind the Siders car of Ricardo.
Already some of the drivers getting the rear of the LX6 out, trying to get some heat through the big rear tyres in this car. It's quite important as well, Thilo, to get heat into the front tyres of the LX6. Quite a lot of drivers often neglect the front of their car, but in the LX6 there's not that much energy going through the front tyres on an outlap, because it's such a light car and the front end is very, very well, the engine's in the front, but you still have to put quite a lot of effort into throwing it around. So really important to get plenty of heat into the front tyres, else you're going to have a bit of trouble into turn 1 on your hot lap.
Ricardo coming around the final corner to start his first flying lap. It took him about 1 minute 55 for his hard lap, so keep that in mind to guess how many attempts there are going to be.
Yeah, I'm sure that someone could probably push it a bit harder if they wanted to on their final attempt, but 1 minute 55 seems like a pretty reasonable attempt. Speaking of reasonable attempts, Michael Malik did not get a good run out of the final corner at all. He was on the grass actually on the entry to the final corner and got overtaken on the home straight by one of the Born to Race cars and runs very wide at turn number 1, and he'll either abort or use this as another warm-up lap. So some drivers struggling to get heat in the tyres, struggling to control this car. It is a tricky beast, and it's a tricky track as well.
I was just wondering if Michael was really happy with the setup. One of just a few cars who chooses to run with a roof.
Yeah, the roof doesn't make any aerodynamic difference, of course. It just looks a bit different.
Would be interesting if it was that way in real life too.
Yeah, unfortunately, real life doesn't comply to the same physics as this. Or maybe that's a good thing, I don't know. Anyway,
Ricardo comes around the final corner to finish his first flying lap. With 10 minutes 20 seconds to go, he goes into the position with a 146.09, directly beaten by Renault Koots and by Japan. Japan now on the provisional pole with a 145.80.
Everyone's displacing everyone here. Kevin Peets has just gone quickest with a 145.55. So Teamwork Racing currently first and second. Lacunas for Yes Motorsport slots it in P2. The top 2 teams in the championship at the top of the grid as it currently stands.
And for those who are wondering how the team championship points are distributed. Thanks. The best 2 drivers for each event are considered for the team championship. So if one of the drivers has a bad race 1 but a phenomenal race 2, he might score for his team, even though probably throughout the evening more points were distributed to the team if it was based on each race. I hope I made this understandable.
Just about, I think.
Okay.
It's okay. We've had 37 rounds to get used to the point system, and I'm still not sure anyone really understands how it works. But there we go.
Ricardo now around the final corner for his second hot lap.
Yeah, coming up to start finish. Let's see if he can make an improvement on this lap. He's currently
Nope.
5th, and it's not an improvement for the Sidus driver.
It's improvement in time, but not in position. As TC Racing's Adam goes into 3rd position with a 1:45.68. Top 4 are mightily close, I wanted to say, but then Lacunas for Yes Motorsports goes into the provisional pole position with a 1:45.23. Now 3 and 2/10 in front of Gavin Pete.
Yeah, so Yes Motorsport doing everything they need to do right now to stay ahead of Team Up Racing. It's going to be a mighty close battle at the end of this season. 3 points in it between those two teams after 37 rounds. That's mad, isn't it? Just to say that. They've been so close all season long. As we can see, TC Racing's Elmo getting very sideways through turn number 3. This is a flying lap. Currently in P19.
He's now approaching the hairpin that leads back to the more familiar international circuit.
Yeah, he's following his teammate Adam, and there's a Born to Race car pulled up on the side of the road just before the hairpin. For anyone who hasn't driven this section in Live for Speed, it's quite cambered, but it's still very tricky, especially in a rear-wheel drive car like the LX6, and especially one that's so light as well. And there's a couple of spiteful curbs on that section as well that can catch you out. So the drivers have got it all to do this evening to try and keep those cars on the road. This is a really tricky lap, Westhill 1. Very technical. And yeah, the LX6, a very technical car, as Elmo crosses the line and will not improve on that occasion, but he'll go for another one. Plenty of tyres left. His teammate currently in 4th place, TC Racing, and part-time sim broadcast commentator Adam Brown in P4. Jaban has moved up to P2, Thilo, just ahead of his teammate Gavin Pete. Jan Bukowski, for anyone not familiar with his nickname. Thilo Falkenberg's had to step out of the commentary box. Something going on outside his window, I think. So he'll join us just as soon as he can. It's been quite a quick session. 5 minutes remaining. Vitatas Lagutskas, or Lacunas, currently P1 with a 1:45.23. The two Team Up Racing teammates very close behind. Let's see if Lacunas can do anything to improve on this lap. Right aboard with him as he exits the final corner. He does improve by quite a margin, actually. He's done a 1:45.15 there, which means that he's now over 3/10 ahead of Jaban. So that is really quite a margin. Welcome back, Thilo.
Interesting to see that the multi-lap approach to this qualifying session seems to be the faster one.
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned at the top of the show, it's quite a tricky car to get the heat through the tyres, and once it's there, you want to keep it. You don't want to spend 2 laps doing warm-up laps. Once you've got that heat, you kind of have to go for it for as many attempts as you can. This looks like a pretty smooth lap from Lugutskas here as he throws it into the hairpin. So tricky to get this car slowed down into there, and even more difficult to get the power back down. You can just see how skittish this car is around the slow speed middle sector of Westhill National. Just one more corner to go. Heavy on the anchors down 2 gears for the hairpin. Bit of handbrake being used there to turn the car in. Gentle on the power as he picks it up towards the home straight. And as the counter ticks down, he does not improve on this attempt and aborts his next run. The other Yes Motorsports drivers are well outside the top positions. We've got Unite down in P10, Number P11, and Gabor down in P14. So it doesn't look like Lugutskas is going to have much backup this evening.
Yeah, but from the looks of things, they are all using the approach of one hot lap and jumping back into the pit lane. So maybe that's one reason why they are so far back right now. We do have 1 minute and 30 seconds left in the session right now.
Yeah, no real change up and down the order. A few positions being changed lower down. But besides the important picture up top between Yes Motorsport and Team Up Racing, it's kind of the usual story. What I would say is it's quite unusual to see Renault Koets nowhere near the front of the grid. He's P6 at the moment, and you'd expect him to be closer, I'd say. He is only 7/10 off.
Well, only 7/10. Usually he's much closer to whoever wins pole position.
Yes.
I mean, between Lacunas and Japan, there are already nearly 4/10.
TRR Texas, P13. He'll have time for one more run. The last car across the line will be whoever's exiting the last corner. I don't think anyone else will have time to set a run as Texas runs very wide onto the grass out of turn 1 there and aborts. The highest placed world-class Lions driver, currently Yoni Katila up in P number 8. He's on a lap, so he'll get to post another time. He's 9/10 of a second off of pole, which is currently a 1:45.1 set by Yes Motorsports of Vitautas Lugutskas. Here comes Katila then. And Yoni won't improve on this occasion, so he's probably just doing a bit of practice before the start of race 1, which will be a 10-lap race in around about 5 or so minutes time.
We actually see a few connection issues tonight.
What a lap there from Born to Race Ayub. P4 jumps up the order, displacing TC Racing Adam and Renault Coots. And it looks like the last car across the line will be OK Cyan. Under the bridge he goes, skipping the chicane out on this instance. Mr. Fetch crosses the line as the 28th runner, posting a 1:52.37. That's quite some way off the pace of the top guys, so hopefully Mr. Fetch can get a few more laps of practice in before the start of the race. Some 7 seconds off of the pole time set by Vitasis Lagutskas, who takes pole for race number 1, followed by Jaban for Teamwork Racing, Gavin Peat, his teammate. Then it's Born to Race Abe with a good last attempt there. He slots into P4 ahead of TC Racing's Adam, Renault Coots in P6, quite a way off the top times. Then it's Rick Cardle for Sidus. Yes, Unite manages to improve his lap time. He was P10 for a while, and then he's now P8. Cyan drops to P9, Yoni Catilla P10. And then outside the top 10, we've got Frank for Teamwork Racing, Yes Motorsports number, Teamwork Racing Texas, Born to Race Scattle, Phantom, Yes Motorsports Gabor, World Class Lines Jari Catilla, Race Green Mandula, World Class Lines Pekka Koivunen, Master Race Car Kig, Energy Virtual Racing's Andre Araujo, Born to Race Twin, Race Green Redbot, World Class Lines Timu Soini, TC Racing's Chris McElroy, Master Race Cars Michael Malik, Argentinian Turismo, Yaroloco, and Gum Garage. Mr. Fetch rounds out the 28 starters for race number 1, which will be coming up in just a couple of moments, Thilo.
Indeed, and the first race worth of 50 points. That's going to be interesting to see how the top drivers are going to manage the third corner, especially when it goes downhill into the, let's call it, infield section of Westhill. You do have quite some room to the outside there, a little bit of runoff area, but the corner itself is pretty much blind.
So around about 3 minutes to go before the start of the first race, and Lagutskas is going to have to get a good launch away here because he's going to have 2 of the Teamwork Racing drivers wanting to get into his slipstream down to turn number 1, and depending whether anyone else behind can get a fast start, there could be drama into turn 1. We know how difficult this car is on cold tyres. Obviously the drivers get no time to warm up those tyres down to turn 1. And for those unfamiliar, the turn 1 apex is just after a crest, Thilo, where the car will become very light. And it's around about the place where you start thinking about doing downshifts, or in this case probably still upshifts, and braking and turning. So it's definitely a corner that requires a lot of skill, especially on the opening lap, especially with the LX6 with cold tyres. And there's going to be 28 of them thundering down towards turn 1, so expect to see some cars off in the grass on the opening lap. Hopefully everybody makes it through that corner okay and gets themselves into order before turn 2 and the infield, where on the opening lap it's going to be equally tricky. Thanks to everyone for tuning in this evening, and if you want to keep up to date with what we're doing, you can do that on the Sim Broadcast website at simbroadcasts.tv. All of our race recaps and highlights and full video on demand replays of each stream that we do will be uploaded to YouTube on the evening of the broadcast. You can also subscribe and follow us on Twitch, and we're on Facebook and Twitter if you use those things to keep up to date with what's going on in your life. We really appreciate your support, so anything you can do to follow us, we will be greatly appreciating that. 30 seconds to go, Thilo, just before the start of race number 1.
Yeah, just wanted to mention, if you're watching this as video on demand on YouTube, then don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe as well. So as well there to help the algorithm and stuff like that.
Here we go then. Race number 1. All the cars lining up. Doesn't look like we've got a pole sitter just now. There we go. Gutskas leaves the pits and slots into that pole position. 10 laps of lights to flag racing with a standing start coming right up. Here we go then. 28 cars thundering down to turn number 1. The Gutskas leads the way, and immediately in the slipstream is Jaban, and it looks like Gavin Pete's not had a great start. Jaban thinks about a move but slots in behind. Kevin does take third place back. He almost lost it to Adam and Renault Coots and Ayub, who are behind. Ayub's dropped down behind Adam now and Renault Coots. He's down to P6. As we've got a car sliding, who's that? Oh, there's contact. Looked
That's
like...
Yannick Attila.
Yeah, Yannick Attila is around and in the wall. He actually was collected by the car that was sideways. It looked like a green Lotus-styled or Caterham livery, sorry.
The green Caterham style car, that's Yes Motorsports Unite.
Unite, so yeah, Unite was the car that caused a little bit of that drama at the start, getting the car pitched sideways there, and yeah, that's not the way he wanted this race to start, but actually he's still in P9, so it's not gone too badly for him. Lacunas currently in P1 still, followed by Jaban, then it's Gavin Pete, TC Racing's Adam retains P4, Renault Coots and then Ayub. Rick Cardle down to 7th. As everyone makes their way up this short run to the final corner.
Koivunen is off. Ooh, Mr. Fetch, what's your...
Yeah, so Mr. Fetch running into the back of Koivunen, recovering there. That's not ideal.
Yeah, in fact, Koivunen was rejoining the track and was well on the off the racing line actually, but Mr. Fetch lost the car exiting that corner.
Yeah, Trespasser was waiting at the end of pit lane and has now decided to rejoin in the middle of all the traffic. I'm not quite sure what he's doing. Yeah, so instead of...
He did not do qualifying, and there was a rule in place that you have to join at the end of the first lap.
Okay.
So the pit exit green light opened.
So maybe hoping for a little bit of action, even though he's a lap down. Might have been more sensible to wait for the field to go past, but there we go. Abe currently down to P7. Rick Cardle's found a way around him. So Abe with that fantastic qualifying lap, coming a bit unstuck on the race so far. And Lacunas with a little bit of a gap over Jaban and Gavin Pete, but it does look like, Thilo, that Team Up Racing are going to score quite a lot of points out of this race if it stays like it is. Lacunas obviously with the full cohort of points, but two Team Up Racing guys behind him, that's crucial for the championship. And look at Adam, he's now trying to size up Jaban as we run down to the final corner once again. Very short races this evening. If you think back a week ago when we had 2 half-hour races, tonight's races are quite a lot shorter than that, only around about 17 or 18 minutes we expect for each race this evening. Not really sure why Gavin Pete's running a Sidus number plate. Maybe show a solidarity for his friends in that team. But yeah, maybe...
Coots in the slipstream of Adam. That might be a move into the first corner, side by side. Oh,
Oh,
Be
Adam!
careful with those tires.
I'm not quite sure what was going on there, but somehow it worked out. Adam kind of squeezed Renault over to the right side of the road and then powered on through, and it worked. Quite an unorthodox move.
It was already an unorthodox approach to the corner as they nearly touched on the straight side by side. But now Renault Koots has to wait until he gets around to the next.
Oh, Adam's gone on the grass. Yeah, this is going to be crucial for Renault Koots, and he gets through. Adam dropped a wheel on the grass, and that's that. And yeah, let's see if Adam can recover that on the laps that he's got left.
Renault probably asking himself why didn't that happen earlier. As behind those are Unite and AU.
3 wide.
And Cyan 3 wide. Cyan and the brown car in the middle.
Unite trying to make it around the outside. That didn't quite work.
Yeah, the KTM car of Unite on the outside now. Born to Race is Ayub powering through. And now the Gucci car of Cyan as they go 3 wide again.
Yeah, Ayub's in a sandwich, so it's 3 wide on the back straight, 3 wide on the front straight. And Unite best suited for the corner, but can Ayub hang it around the outside? They try it, and they're keeping it clean. This is great stuff from these three. And yeah, Ayub with a great move there around the outside on Unite, maintains P7 for now. And yeah, Cyan doing quite a good job here, staying with these guys.
Yeah, Ayub, someone with quite some experience in these cars. We've seen him driving the Open Endurance Cup in an LX6.
Ah, yes, you're right, earlier this year.
Championship also brought to you by Sim Broadcasts.
I was going to say championship brought to you by Thilo Falkenberg, but okay. Unite was thinking about sending one on Onia there, but yeah, Unite back down to 9th.
Whoa! Ooh. He was carrying so much more speed through the hairpin compared to Cyan and to Ayub.
But now we've got this drag down to the final corner again, and Ona's in a really good place here. Ayub got a good exit, but this is quite a long straight, so let's see what happens here. Ona will be able to get a run on him. It depends which way he goes. Ayub defends the outside. Ayub liking the outside line around here. This is going to let Unite catch back up, and we have a 3-way battle for 7th place. And Unite gets it a bit wrong, and he's been left for dead a little bit. But side by side, Ayub on the right, Ona on the left, across start finish as we begin lap number 5 of race 1.
Fastest lap by Lacunas. A 1:45.51, so he's pretty much on qualifying pace.
Impressive stuff, and Unite's managed to make big gains through turn number 1. He's alongside Ona again. So after that first lap half spin, Unite getting stuck into the battles here, as Ayub once again hangs it around the outside on Ona. This is a great little battle for P7. If you're enjoying what you're watching, don't forget that you can still sign up for the championship. There are still 6 rounds remaining after this one, so if you like what you're seeing, why not join us for the remaining rounds? We have a great turnout tonight, don't forget, 28 cars. But now it looks like up ahead, Rick Cardle has managed to catch up to Adam and is making a move. They're side by side heading down to the bridge section. Gavin, Pete and Jaban also very close, and Rick Cardle makes contact. He lifts off a little bit and does give Adam the place, so that's good to see. And he's dropped back so far, in fact, that I think he might have lost the slipstream from Adam. So that battle is neutralised for now. Ayub's got a little bit of a break as well over Ona, but Unite is catching up to the back of Cyan again. the OK driver.
Pete and Renault Coots. Renault Coots round the outside into third position. But now Gavin Pete has the slipstream to slingshot past him.
Yeah, side by side as we head up to turn number 1.
Gavin Pete a little bit late
Oof.
on the brakes.
Yeah, a little bit. And Renault might think about a run into turn 2. Thinks better of it. Turn 3 perhaps.
Inside into the downhill left-hander. There is more contact.
That was quite good considering. It's quite easy to get into a side-by-side accident there as Gavin Pete decides to give Renault a bit of a nudge. Meanwhile, in the background, it looks like it's all going off between Jarek Tiller, who's in that battle, Skattel and Frank. Frank currently side by side with Skattel and does him around the outside on the double right-hander. Nice move. Meanwhile, further ahead, Rick Cardle is solidly in 5th position right now. He's got ahead of Adam. Adam's dropped down from 5th in this race to 4th. Renault Coots, the big gainer here. He was, where did he start? P6? P7, around about there, and he's up to P3.
They moved up a couple of positions.
Skattel and Frank side by side again. Frank in the orange Team Up Racing car, Skattel in the blue and white and black Born to Race car. Skattel on the outside on Frank as we head to the home straight once again. Frank going defensive. But I think Skattel might have this move made by the time they arrive at turn 1. Just about not. Frank really committing to that entry and maintains the place, so good defending there from Frank. That's allowed Andre Araujo for Energy Virtual Racing to catch up. And maybe he's thinking about a move actually here. Great to see battles like this up and down the grid. Reminds me of the races earlier on in the season, Thilo, when we had maybe 40 cars competing out on a tiny track with skittish cars. But you have to say that the championship has become a lot cleaner. Touch wood.
Yeah, don't jinx it like Sunday.
Yeah. In terms of the first lap drama that we usually see, today's racing so far, so good. Here comes Araujo then. He's pulled out of the slipstream on Skattel. He might decide to tuck back in before one final go into the hairpin. Might have pulled out of the slipstream a bit early, but up ahead it looks like Frank's going for a move on Jarek Tiller. And he's got the move done into the hairpin. Skattel's still side by side with Araujo in the background.
And they stay side by side onto the start-finish straight, but Araujo with the greater momentum. Skattel tucks in back into the slipstream, and now he tries to go past. Side by side into the braking zone. And Araujo again with the better momentum.
This is great stuff. We can see here that today that people, you can be on the inside and you can be on the outside, and you can make a move around turn 1 stick. It's such a clever corner, such brilliant design by Eric, one of the for Speed developers. It's a very, very, very cool corner where any line works really. As we can see, is that Mandula? Yes, it is Mandula having a battle with TC Racing's Chris McElroy and MRC's Kig. As in fact, Mandula makes a move on the outside of Kig, and he's actually almost close enough to make a move on Elmo. So even down in P20, there's battles for position happening on lap number 8. Fantastic stuff. Here comes Mandula again. Elmo a bit sideways there.
Mandula again with a very interesting interpretation of a skin.
Yeah, Mandula tends to just use the, I think it's an FZR skin, and he just renames it each week. It's quite amusing seeing the FZR kind of wrapped around different cars. But there we go. It conforms to all of the rules of skinning for this season, so whatever works goes, I suppose.
At least he sticks to his rule. Although I still have to deduct some points from him because a race green car that is not green.
Yeah, here comes the race green machine, which isn't green. On the inside of Elmo across start finish.
Elmo lifts.
And Mandula goes through.
But Elmo with a better cornering, but he stays behind.
Lugutskas leads ahead of Jaban and Renault Coots. Kevin Pete, who started in P number 3, is down to P4, and Rick Cardle has gained a few places. He's up to P5. Adams lost a place. He's down to P6. Ayub, probably the biggest loser out of the top places that started this race. He's down to P7, but still a really respectable place. Everyone's still quite close at the head of this race, really. And then it's Cyan in P8. Texas P9, and the second of the Yes Motorsports team currently in P10. So it does look like Team Up Racing are going to be getting a good haul of points out of this one compared to Yes Motorsports.
It also depends a bit on what they do with trespassers, since he started late. Does he still qualify to the reverse grid?
Good question. I think he does, yeah.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Yeah. Unite taking quite a backwards entry into turn number 1, into the final corner there, sorry. Mandula's now all over the back of Yara Loco. They're going to be side by side as we head across the line. And interestingly enough, Thilo, they have the same colour wheels.
Okay.
Which is a little bit unusual considering. Just noticed. There we go. Elmo goes very wide, almost hits the wall there in the background. And gets passed by Kig for Master Race Car. Yep. Sweeps around the outside. Mandula now sizing up the back of the Argentinian Turismo car of Yara Loco there. Barely using any throttle really, aren't they, through this double right-hander. Really reluctant to put the power down. Sometimes you need to be, as we're on the final lap here. Wonder if Mandula can make up any more places. He's got a good run out of here, but I don't know if he's going to be close to make a move into the hairpin. Thinks better of it, yeah. But here we go then, out of the final corner with a huge lead over Jaban. Flawless drive from Yes Motorsports. Vitautas Lugutskas as he comes across the line to win race number 1 of this evening's action.
Fastest lap set on the final lap, 1:45.39. That lap would still have put him onto pole position.
Wow. So that shows you just how much of a performance advantage he's got. He'll have his work cut out in race 2 with a 28 car grid, Thilo, potentially 29 as we did lose a car from this race. Jaban finishes in P number 2, then it's Renault Coots P3, Kevin Pete P4, Rick Cardle, Adam Brown, Ayub, Cyan, Texas and Unite round out the top 10. Then it's Number, Gabor, Phantom, Frank, Yari Katilla, Andre Araujo, Scattle, Mandula, Yara Loco and Kig in the top 20, and we're just waiting for the last couple of cars to finish as we have Elmo, Soini, Twin, Koivunen, Michael, Redbot, and at some point in the next couple of corners we will see Trespasser as one of the last cars to finish.
Trespasser already has finished, but he's one lap down. So
yes, waiting for who is it? Is it Mr.
Mr.
Fetch?
Fetch.
Mr. Fetch rounds the last corner now, and he'll be the last car to finish on the road, but will not be last in the race, as Trespasser finishes in P27 and Mr. Fetch finishes in P28. So then, Thilo.
Was a good race. We are pretty much bang on with our estimation that it takes around 18 minutes, 17 minutes, 43 seconds. Yeah, up in front, the race was pretty much set already after the first couple of corners. At least Lacunis and Japan were pacing away. Gavin Pete went down a place. Renault Coutts, the great winner of this race, after not having a qualifying that we expected of him.
Yeah, 28 cars between him and the win in race 2, and with a slightly shorter race, it's going to be very tricky.
Indeed. But again, good points for Team Rock Racing, as you pointed out. If you wonder, there are 2 bonus points for pole position and also for the fastest lap, but these bonus points are not counted towards the team's championship. So
yeah, and speaking of the team's championship, with only 6 rounds to go after this one, Team Rock Racing and Yes Motorsport will be, well, they'll be jockeying for position in race 2 to try and get those to get their position in the team's championship cemented. Yes Motorsport going into this round, we're only 3 points ahead of Team Rock Racing and 513 points clear of World Class Lions, the only 3 teams who going into this round could theoretically still win the championship. Race Green Autosports are pretty much guaranteed 4th place at this point. Then it's Born to Race, Master Race Car, TC Racing, Road Appraiser, Team Sidus, Nordic Racing Team, Energy Virtual Racing, and Conquest Racing rounding out the top 12. But you can see the points drop off there for some of the other teams. It's been a very hotly contested season between a small number of teams, with occasional appearances from other teams, but it's been good to have everyone along nonetheless. In the Drivers' Championship going into this round, Jan Bukowski was leading 21 points ahead of Gavin Pete. So Jaban and Gavin Pete for Team Rock Racing leading the Drivers' Championship. Then it was Yes Motorsports' Nika Pontola, Sidus' Rick Cardle, World Class Lions' Jari Katila. Then it was Yes Motorsports' Trespasser in P6 and Pekka Koivunen for World Class Lions, who has had a very consistent season, Thilo. He's picked up a couple of race wins. And has kept out of trouble, and he's inside this top 7 positions, which means that he still stands a chance of lifting that trophy at the end of the year, which is quite remarkable.
yeah, it is, especially considering that probably the shining light of WCL was most of the times Yannick Katia, but he was also the one who had more tough luck, did not finish as many races as Pekka Koivunen did. And so Pekka is still mathematically able to win the championship.
Yeah, we'll update this for you next round to see how things stand. But yeah, we really are getting to the sharp end of the season, and we've got around about 2 minutes remaining before the start of the reverse grid second race. 10 laps, fully reverse grid. It's going to be lots of chaos into turn 1 as usual, but we love that. And yeah, hopefully we can see a cleaner start than we're used to. But that's what happens when you reverse all the talent on the grid. The different ranges of skill. You end up with a bit of a pinch point into the first corner.
Yeah, and I would say the second pinch point is going to be the third corner, that blind left-handed downhill. 1 minute until we see that second race.
Yeah, just before we do that, we should say that if you're enjoying watching us on Sim Broadcasts, you can check out our calendar over on simbroadcasts.tv. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel to get all of our video on demand after our broadcasts, either the evening or the day after. If you're not already following us on Twitch, you can follow us or subscribe. We'd appreciate that. And you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter to hear more about what we're broadcasting and when we go live. Do all the good stuff over there. And yeah, 20 seconds Thilo to go until the start of race number 2 in the Teamwork Racing Championships 38th round. I can't believe it's been going for so long. This year-long championship has provided us with entertainment for basically every single Tuesday since January.
Yes, and you've been around each and every one of them.
Yeah, even before we even started Sim Broadcast, we were doing this championship, which is absolutely awesome. Here we go then. We're missing our pole sitter again. Hopefully they will join and slot in.
Yeah, there he comes.
There is Trespasser then, on pole position, and here come the lights. 2 lights, 3 lights. And we're green for race number 2, the fully reverse grid race. Legutskas currently in P28. Yoni Katilla, the last car on the grid, in P29. Here they will go. And yeah, it's 3 wide already, Thilo.
Coming to turn 1, Mr. Fetch braking early. Losing 4 positions there into turn 1.
Yeah, Trespasser maintaining that first position. And this is important for the team's championship. Even though there are fewer points on offer in race 2, it's still good to have a driver for that team all the way out the front. It's not good if you're a Teamwork Racing driver. They've got a lot of work to do. Currently, the highest placed is Frank. He's in P15 and he's trying to carve his way through this massive gaggle of cars. Look at this. They've got 3 wide, 4 wide going on into the double left-hander, and there's lots of side-by-side contact, but so far so good.
Mandula on the grass. Oh, some car climbed another car. That was Number.
Yeah, numbers
also
off.
a Yes Motorsport driver.
Yeah, Legutskas.
Oh, big crash. Mr. Fetch Cyan.
But look at Lacunas, Thilo. Legutskas has made it up to P13 from P28 in 5-6 corners. That's mega. Yeah, he's done an absolutely brilliant start there to get that high up the grid so quickly.
But still, the start of this race was pretty clean after all.
Side by side, Frank is with Scattle once again. This was a familiar picture from the last race. As ahead of them, it's Elmo going side by side with the Raujo. That move's been made already. Looks like Scattle's got the run on Frank just now. No doubt Frank will try and pull alongside before turn 1.
Redbot weaving from left to right and back, as Michael is now side by side with him. He did try to break the slipstream, did not work, as Michael was well aware of Redbot's tactics.
Yeah, now look at Koivunen. Koivunen's going to think about having a move, and he's been
Whoa,
done around
Twin!
the outside. What a move by Twin. 2 cars in 1 corner. That was excellent.
Where did
that was
he
excellent.
come from?
What a move. Elmo with a somewhat slidey line has just lost 4 places in 1 corner. Losing out to the likes of Frank, Araujo and Yaroloco there.
But also Lacunas now to the inside of Kick. He is now in 10th.
Yeah, this is incredible. After just over a lap, Lacunas is inside the top 10, so 18 positions made since the start. That's incredible. But I want to say that move from Twin there was absolutely brilliant. He's up to P3, Thilo.
And that well deserved. Oh, late.
We've got a car off, and we've got 2 cars off, sliding into the hairpin, and that's Frank who's just ploughed straight into the side. That's going to cost Frank dearly, and other cars just not really being that aware of that incident and barreling in as well.
Oh, Timo Soini.
Yeah,
he was collected there. Oh, more cars off.
Race over for Frank. Yaroloco with
What's
a very
happening there?
damaged car. What has happened there?
Phantom was collected badly. Oh, Redbot lost connection.
It's all going off in race 2, as we've come to expect. Twin currently battling side by side with Pekka Koivunen. Pekka Koivunen currently 7th in the Drivers' Championship, showing us why he is in that position with consistently high finishes in this Championship. He's side by side with Twin right now as we head across start finish, and it looks like we've lost. Oh no, Michael is having some connection trouble. So yeah, you did mention that there might have been some connection trouble earlier, but maybe that's plaguing a few drivers in this second race.
Indeed, I mean, I had some connection trouble as well, though for a commentator that's not too worrying. No one will miss me.
I'll miss you. Down into the infield section. Twin is defending P3 from Pekka Koivunen here, doing quite a good job of it as well, might I add. And Lacunas Thilo up to P number 5 on lap number 3. Can anything stop this man? His teammate currently out front, and the nearest Team Up Racing driver to him down in P10.
But we must say there are some diminishing returns for him. First lap he had headed up to 10th. Now he's only headed up to 5th. If he continued the trend, he must have been now in the negative positions, as we all know.
Yeah, Jan Bukowski down in P number 10. His teammates Gavin Pete in Texas, P13 and P14 and P22 at the moment. Trespassers teammates are in P5, P11 and P23. As here comes Jaban, trying to make a move around the outside of Renault Coots. Renault Coots with that rather bizarre looking blue, black and white LX6 defends the inside, bit of contact, and Jaban's forced to try it round some other way on the home straight.
That bizarre looking car is also a skin that was simply renamed.
Yes, as Jaban has made that move. Does Renault have any answers to that going into turn 1? No, he doesn't. Meanwhile, in the background...
But Adam is sliding wide, so Japan is now in a much better position.
Kig was side by side there with Gavin Pete, and he's currently ahead.
And they are now running into the back of Chris McElroy.
Yeah, let's see what happens here from riding on board with Chris McElroy, looking back at his teammate Adam Brown. Behind that, Jaban, as Elmo runs very deep.
Well, that was close. Renault was boxed into the wrong side.
And now he's gone on the grass. Oh no.
Now side by side with Unite. That was
Elmo
close
with
as well.
Very, very slow apex there. Absolutely holding Renault Coots up, forcing him onto the grass a little bit. But that's allowed his teammate to get away ahead. So, yeah, you have to say it kind of worked out for him a bit. But Jaban now up to P8. Lacunas with the fastest lap in P4. Trespasser streaking ahead out front in P1 after starting from that pole position spot. How many more places can Jaban make up? I wonder. Maybe 2 or 3 more, I'd say, at this current pace. He'll want to get up into that gaggle of cars up ahead, Thilo, because that's where all the that's where everyone else.
Speaking of the gaggle up ahead, side by side, Lacuna with Michael.
Yeah, that's a podium place if you can hold it. It's P3 now for Lacunas. That's crazy, isn't it? In 4 laps, he's managed to come from the back of the grid to the podium. I can't remember the last time we had a gain that quick in a Team Up Racing race. If anyone in the chat can think of any races where the winner from the previous round was able to carve their way through the grid in under 10 minutes, then please feel free to let us know. I don't remember it. And here comes Lacunas.
If anyone made it, I would guess it was Isaac.
Yeah, potentially. I think the Gutskas has had his fair share of good results in race 1 and race 2, so maybe him as well, but I just don't remember it being this quick.
And don't forget, Lacunas is only racing selected events in this championship, so he pretty much does not count towards any championship tally. If at all, he's taking away points, except for his team.
Yeah, exactly. In the Drivers' Championship, it's not helping his teammates out, but it's not hurting them either, really, because he's taking points away from other teams. So it all works out in the end as he's side by side with the man in P2. Born to Race 2, and he made that absolutely excellent move on the inside of the double left-hander a few laps ago. But he's now being overtaken, and Lagutskas will, if he gets the final corner right, will join his teammate at the top of the standings. There you go. Trespasser leads Vitalis Lagutskas, and I think that's as far as Lagutskas' charge is going to go, unless Trespasser puts it in a wall or something, because he's streaking up towards turn 1. All out on his own, but he's left the rest of the field a long way behind. As we've got a bit of contact, it looks like Araujo there off on the grass, so he's had a shocker of turn 1. And Adam's also battling with Jaban now. Jaban on the inside of Adam as we head into turn number 2. Side by side, very close, and that's great stuff. Adam, what a move there. Holding the outside line, making it work. That was excellent as they head into the infield once again.
By the way, I wouldn't be too sure that Lacunas can't catch Trespasser. Trespasser's fastest lap is about a second slower than what Lacunas was able to do in the last race, sorry. So maybe at the end of the race.
So what's the gap between the top 2 currently, Thilo?
Currently 6.7 seconds, but
I think it's a tall order, but yeah, it's possible.
It's going to be narrow.
Yeah, very. We've got a gaggle of cars from Rick Cardle down to Kevin Pete here. Sorry, to Texas, in fact. Texas is holding up Mandula a little bit as we head on to the back straight.
I would even say we do have a Michael train, as everyone from P4 until P13 is pretty close together.
Rather a train. There's not much going on ahead of him. Twins quite a way ahead, and then there's Pekka Koivunen and Andre Araujo side by side. Araujo moves to the front, and Jaban now and Adam side by side again.
Yeah, and Jaban makes the move stick, positions the car right at the apex. So Adam
this happened last lap. Is Adam going to try this outside? No, he tries the inside line this time. So Adam got Jaban on the outside last lap. I mean, that's not a bad effort from Adam there. So he's made that move work on both sides of Jaban's car on the last 2 laps, proving once again that you can make your own luck around here.
Yeah, and they don't lose too much time, as again Michael is pretty much forming a Michael train here.
I mean, it's providing some great entertainment.
Yes, indeed.
Araujo's struggling to put the power down through those twisty left-handers there. But you can just see how many cars are now queued up behind Mike. Adam's going for a big send, and there's contact. That was a bit too much.
Pekka.
Yeah, Pekka Koivunen's been mugged there. That's really unlucky. That's going to put... that's really unfortunate for Pekka Koivunen as he gets rear-ended again by one of the TRR cars. And we've got another car off. That's Mandula. Yeah, Adam just too greedy on the send into the hairpin with that one.
Mandula also involved in the aftermath. He falls down to 22nd position, so... oh man.
Yeah, so Adam, even with that contact, is still up in P7, and there's a huge gaggle of cars around him.
Renault Kurtz touching the side of Unite, and they are both in the slipstream of the cars ahead. Unite, what you do?
Yeah, Unite's lost out there.
Whoa! He was lucky as F ...
Yeah, unfortunately we just missed it, but Unite was putting his car in a place it did not want to be. As we've got
he tried to open the gap, essentially, on the straight.
Yeah. Wow. 4 wide just doesn't work on the home straight, especially with LX6 with its exposed wheels. Yeah.
The front part of the car pretty much is an open wheeler.
I think the whole car, it's not quite an open wheeler, but there's a lot of overlap that you can do with the wheels in the Caterham style LX6.
Yeah. And we already have seen a car mounting another car due to the wheels being exposed that way. Japan now to the inside of Michael. Michael now with a cutback. Better exit from the hairpin, but Japan now to the inside. So Michael slots in behind and into 5th position.
Yeah, and Adam's also sizing up the back of Gavin Pete out onto the back straight. These two have been going at it ever since Adam sent it on Pekka Koivunen the lap prior. Here we go. Up ahead, you can see Japan battling there with Michael once again. Michael on the outside. This car squirms around so much under brakes. In fact, it squirms around pretty much whatever you do with it. And yep, Japan's made that move stick. Japan up to P5.
Little update from the front. Fastest lap by Lacunas, a 1:45.55, and he's now 2.2 seconds behind Trespasser with 2 laps to go.
He's got 2 laps left. He could probably make that work, to be perfectly honest. As Michael loses the car completely, and that's contact with Adam. He just lost the car into Nico Pantola. Nico's off as well. Unite in the wall. That's huge. Michael just lost the car, and everybody else has careered into him there. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But yeah, now look at Trespasser.
Adam into the back of Renault Koots. Somehow he can keep the car on the black stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely going off in the middle of the pack here, but Trespasser is under threat from his teammate. This is an absolutely monstrous drive from Lagutskas. You cannot take anything away from this man. He's an absolute alien when it comes to these cars. He's managed to drive from P28 to 2nd place within 9 laps, and he's looking all over the back of his teammate for the win.
Lacunas gained 2.1 seconds in the infield.
Crazy. Here he comes. Side by side they go up to the final corner. He's got a nose ahead. Trespasser on the inside, brakes slightly later. Has a tighter line. The Gutskas swings the car around, and he'll have a good drive on the exit, and they'll be side by side again. And the Gutskas takes over that place temporarily, handing the slipstream to his teammate. I wonder whether Trespass is going to have a go. Of course he is. They might be teammates, but they're both racers. Side by side. Contact there. And he's back ahead. I love this. Teammates battling for the lead. Even though they're so far ahead of everyone else.
I mean, they could say, okay, let's get the maximum points for Lacunas.
They could say that, but they won't, will they?
No, they definitely don't. I mean, if they did... Oh, contact again.
Yeah, Trespasser holding him out on the outside there. I mean, this is a good defence. This is how close they were at this point last lap, pretty much. As Lacunas sends it on the inside, spooks Trespasser a little bit, but he's unfazed on the exit. Only a couple of corners left, and it's nice that our focus is once again at the front, because we haven't seen much of these two in this race.
Did we see Lacunas at all in the first race?
Yeah, I gave him a bit of airtime, a little bit. But that wasn't where the action was, definitely.
Trespasser braking too late.
You have to say, though, fair play to Twin. He's managed to keep with these two quite well in P3 currently, as Trespasser holds it once again ahead, and he's got a good exit there. I don't know if it'll be enough. There's one more corner for Lagutskas to try and make this a double win.
Lacunas in the slipstream, so he's definitely making the move now. And he needs to position the car in a place where he can accelerate out of the final corner. Well, contact.
This is going to be close. Who's going to have the... Oh, this is absolutely fantastic stuff up to the final, up to the finish line. It's going to be side-by-side finish, but I think... Oh, is it?
Oh, Lacunas.
Oh, Lacunas, just. What a finish there from the two Yes Motorsports boys.
0.03 seconds.
Amazing. Well done to
Well
done to B2R Twin. Look at this gaggle coming up to the line. Two Team Up Racing teammates side by side there. That was Kevin Pete and Jaban. Renault Koots just ahead of Yoni Katila just. So many close finishes at the top of the field. That was exciting.
Yoni Katila and Adam having a photo finish. Same time.
Absolute same time there. Wow, okay. Thilo, do you want to run us down the order as the cars are finishing that race? I need to go and get a glass of water or something. That was crazy.
Get your glass of water as I run down the list with the first two places held by Yes Motorsport drivers, with Lacunas and Trespasser on the top and the runner-up spot of the podium. Twin for Born to Race in third position. He's followed by Energy Virtual Racing's Andre Arajo. Japan for Team Rock Racing, followed by Gavin Pete in fifth and sixth. Renault Kurtz in seventh position, followed by Ioni Katia, who redeemed himself after an unlucky race one. Adam for TC Racing in ninth position. Running up the top 10, it's Born to Race is Ayub. According to Race Direction, the car of Adam, the 08, is finishing the race ahead of the 30 by inches. So they finished with the same time. Photo finish is putting Adam in front of Katia. But this will be confirmed after the race.
Yeah, post race. That's crazy that yeah, they were that close at the line.
In 11th position, Texas finishes just outside the top 10 for Team Rock Racing. Pekka Koivunen again unlucky when I'm commentating, so yeah, he is in 12th position after that big contact earlier on with, among others, Unite and Adam especially. In 13th position, Ricardo, I don't know. Well, his race was pretty quiet. 14th position, Master Race Cars Michael, the driver with the roof. Yeah, losing a couple of positions, but entertaining us with the Michael train throughout the race. His teammate Kick in 15th position, then Unite, who searches for gaps where there are none for his motorsports. In 17th position, Cyan. In 18th, Yarikatia, followed by TC Racing's Chris McElroy. 20th position, Yes Motorsports Number. He's followed by Team Rock Racing's Frank. Race Green's Mandula. Born to Race's Scuttle, Gum Garage's Mr. Fetch. And in 25th position, and the final finisher, Timo Soini, who had to go to the pit lane after his big crash in the aftermath of what happened to his teammate Pekka Koivunen. Yeah, that was some race.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Some race indeed, and yeah, taking absolutely nothing away from our winner there. Absolutely amazing effort on your screen right now is double race winner Vytautas Lagutskas for Yes Motorsports. He drove two flawless races, starting from pole position in race one, qualifying miles ahead of anyone else. Drove to victory in race one, started down in 28th place in race two, and carved his way through to overtake his teammate on the final lap with a thrilling final couple of corners. So well done to Yes Motorsports, who will undoubtedly retain the lead in the team's championship after this evening's action. So absolutely amazing for them. And yeah, that's big for the team's championship going into round number 39, which will take place in a week's time on Sim Broadcasts. And yeah, you can get involved on that by signing up on the LFS forum in the Team Racing subsection. That'll be from Kyoto Ring GP in the reverse configuration with the very popular Formula XR, the Fox. So any Fox fans out there, I'm sure there are plenty. It's the, well, pretty sure, Thilo, it's the most popular car in the sim, right?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it was always popular, but these days, with the immensely successful Trackmasters Fox Friday events, I think that the car gained much popularity over the last couple of years.
Yeah, so that's definitely not going to be one to miss. I expect a full 40 cars in attendance for that. I don't think it's going to be under any doubt that we're going to have an absolutely packed race. Two fantastic races to look forward to next week here on Sim Broadcasts, courtesy of the Teamwork Racing 2020 Championship. Um, that was a very enjoyable hour and 18 minutes of racing action this evening. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for being with us, and thank you, Thilo, for joining me in the commentary box. And
Was a
yeah,
pleasure. Yeah, what the only thing left to say, don't disappoint our dear head of some broadcast. Don't disappoint Pete, and all join the grid next Tuesday.
yeah, I've said that now, haven't I? I've said that it's going to be a full grid, so you better not disappoint
Yeah,
us. Yeah,
just wanted to underline the fact.
no, fair enough. Yeah, I don't think it's under any doubt. It doesn't matter what we do. I think that is going to be a full grid race, a seriously popular combination with a seriously popular car. Um, Thanks everyone for watching. We really appreciate it. If you want to follow what we do on Sim Broadcast, you can do. All the information can be found on our website at simbroadcasts.tv. You can follow us on Twitch, subscribe to us on Twitch and YouTube, and follow or like our social media pages on Facebook or Twitter. We post all of our stuff there, so absolutely worth checking these out. And we really appreciate your support here. You are the reason we do this week in, week out, and we hope you enjoy what we put out for you. So please show your support. Thank you, Thilo. Once again, thank you everyone for watching. We hope you can join us next time. Good night.